So, good evening, everyone. Maz is okay speaking to us. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear, and if you let me know where you are watching me from. Good evening, good evening. Where are we all? Can we come? Important discussions this evening. Let me know where you are watching me from. Obviously, your name shows here, but it's my usual Friday hangouts. Usual Friday hangouts. Today, we are going to be talking about the arrests and the rearrests of Chiwetalu Agu, the Nollywood actor who was arrested in Onitsha, and the Nigerian army arrested him and they released him. The Nigerian DSS rearrested. So we are now in the season of arrest. Okay. Bear in mind, Kenry Barr is watching me from United Kingdom, England to be precise. Kenry, thank you very much for joining me. Chinwe, Germany, Prince Abba, Sweden. Wow, I like this is real diaspora program today. I think we're going to try something. Maybe when we start this program, we can only allow those who are subscribers to this platform to make comments. Maybe that's going to help and get everybody to. So in the next 30 seconds, everybody who is watching, who's written where he or she is watching from, will be displayed on the screen. Pro bono. Okay, let's try this. Get the comment section busy. Okay, good evening, everyone. Prince Ada, let me start again. Prince Ada from Sweden, Kenry Bar from United Kingdom, Chinwe from Germany, Jassy Chila from the United States, Vince Zo UK from the United Kingdom. Oji Ifunanya, I don't know where you're watching me from, but obviously maybe from Abba. I don't know why I said Abba. Oh, okay. Oji, jeez. Oji Ifunanya, you're watching from Abba. Jeez. You see, if I am actually a prophet, I'll be making money. I don't know why you guys are not paying tithe to me. Look, the moment I said that, she wrote, Oji Ifunanya watching from Aba. Jeez, if I was really actually I'm a prophet, maybe I'm not doing the right calling. I should be a tithe collecting something. Hmm? Hold on, people. Just give me a moment, people. Hold on. Sorry, everyone. Sorry for that interruption. So, like I was saying, I didn't know that Ifunanya was, because obviously I took some people from the diaspora. I said Ifunanya for. You see, when the elders, when the elders of the Dot Nation, when they are talking to you, when you are a son of Ndibo, then when your elders are at peace with you, you will be seeing things with not your naked eye, but with all other eye. You know the eye I mean. So in this case, if I see I got it right watching from Abba when I didn't even know. So Chukuma Mozie from Japan. I have Fatusi from Glasgow. Wow. Why are you laughing? Because I got it right. Shitu. Kamahan Shitu, Germany. Guten Abend. Na Leute, wie geht's euch? Wie geht's dir besonder? Eze Odua Island. Okay. Chingwe. Good evening, everyone. Okay, everyone. So let's quickly get into the conversation. Well, the broadcast today. This is once more in Njenje Media TV, and I am still Mazezoke, the dotted one, the proud daughter. They said I am a dot in the circle. And I said, well, I am only a dot You see, when you call me the dotted one, what I go do? I no go fit cry. So if you know like that I am now a dotted one, you could look for a transformer. Make sure that they have what's it called, overcharge current at that point in time, and do justice to them. Anyway, that is by the way proudly dotted by Mdibo, the ancient people. I think we're going to add it in the logo. Onyebo, the ancient one. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me this evening. I'm just cracking. We're not going to kill ourselves now. A lot is happening. I am not entirely happy, but be that is may, we will continue. Like last week, I said what we had last week was break and pay. So anything in this case, anything you break, you pay, and that's as usual. So many of you who, as it has been, many of you who do not want to pay their tithe to me, and if you do anything, if you break it and you pay.
And I've warned in the first service for those of you that like to fall under anointing and break things. If you fall under anointing again in this church and break anything, you pay. From today is break and pay. Any spirit that breaks anything in this church again will pay. That
So you see, anything that breaks anything, so don't break anything, because if you break anything, you pay tithe to me, only me, and me alone. And however that tithe is used between the heaven and the earth, it is no longer your business. It is me, because I am the CEO and I am the general overseer, the GO. So I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. So I hope you can. Hold on. Can you hear me clear? Can you hear me? Please just tell me what's happening here now. Okay. Are you guys happiness more? Thank you very much. So good evening, Akabogu Clement. Then CG. Okay. So people, now there is these. Okay, you can hear me. Oh, Jifnaya, thank you very much for confirming that. You see, I there is something that bothers me about the Nigerian state. Nigerian state has this a way of making something that is absolute nothing, turning it into a mountain of something. Why? I will say the following things. Not many of you will be happy, but there is one thing in life that you say things out of your conviction. People might not like it, but over time, those who are critical and deep thinkers would take it and think about it deeper. It probably would not mean it's probably not meant for everybody. Okay. So, and these are the thing. IT pilot said no election. He said no election in Anambra State. Of course, it's your see, if you don't want to do an election, stay, be indoor, it's fine. But allow those who want to do an election to do their election. If you want that day you don't want to come out, fine and good. But do not obstruct. Because where your right stops is where the other begins. Okay? Now, having said the following, I was alarmed when yesterday I saw this video. I won't show that video again because the one I posted, many of you will know YouTube has flagged it because, and again, it wouldn't make sense to blow it because if you blow it, you've lost the communication there. So you can go back to Njenje Media and watch that if you haven't. Now, why I wouldn't play that particular one is because at some point you can see him being manhandled and carried. So YouTube classified it as violence or promoting violence or whatever they call it. So I don't want to break the community guidelines. So having said that, when I saw the video yesterday, I thought to myself, this was in my initial reaction, having worked in the Nollywood, having been on set, I looked at it. I thought, okay, maybe I wasn't kind of paying attention what was happening there. I was scouting around to see cameras, where the cameras, yeah, who were or people moving around with the script. So until I watched it halfway, I left. Suddenly, one of the editors called me, said, Mazi, have you seen this video? I said, which video? He said, Chiwetalu Agu arrested. I said, yes. Is that the one that looked like on set? You know? He said, no, it was a proper arrest. Because I didn't finish it. I think it's about 2 minutes, but obviously I was busy. I didn't finish it. So I had to go back again and rewatch. Now, when I watched it, getting towards the end, I saw how this man was first dragged on the floor, second, then carried. And that was when I now paid attention to the inscription on the green bus. It says Chiwetalu Agu Films, I believe. And I thought to myself, what was that all about? And this is the argument that has happened in so many Igbo forums. The argument are as follows. You have a set of people saying what he has done, rather, he hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't done anything illegal. However, he could have been more circumvent. You have a people saying, well, he should have been arrested because, IPOB is quote unquote a proscribed entity by the federal government of Nigeria. So having, or rather putting that on, means he supports IPOB. That's number two. Number three, then you have another set of people saying, well, this is a Biafran insignia, therefore he should not put it on. And here is my argument. I'm not aware that anything that has to do with Biafra is banned, or that the word Biafra itself is banned. I'm not aware of that. And I haven't seen any law banning such. However, in the Nigerian state today, whether you like it or not, some of us argued, illegally, or argue that it didn't make sense to ban at that point. Now, if it didn't make, if they are doing this because they think this is an illegal organization in their, again, bringing the Nigerian context here. If it's an illegal organization to them and they banned it, the question then every single person would then ask, does Biafran flag equal IPOB? The answer is no. IPOB is an organization that you can only be part of. But Biafra is a word where Ndibo, my fellow Ndibo, lost over 3 million Kitan kings. Therefore, there is an emotional attachment to the word Biafra. Be it the flag, be it the national anthem, be it anything. Where the issue now is, how do you differentiate between IPOB that uses Biafra insignia, and where do you draw the line? Myself, and then I say, okay, if Biafra is not banned, if the paraphernalia could be argued that it's, that's what they are now coming up, with their argument. You now begin to see, okay, it's the same country. Many of you who live in the diaspora know you can walk into a shop. In America, you can walk into a Sears, you can walk into Costco, anywhere. You can buy an American combat, whatever, jean, singlet, these are military singlet. You wear that, nobody speaks to you. But in Nigeria, things don't work like that. People do not think right. Everybody is an oppressor. We are still suffering from the military hangover. We are still under military rules in our mind, in the way we communicate. You see everyone shouting as if they are giving military order. You see people blaring siren as if they are dying the next minute. All these things are as a result of the military conjuncture, the military leftovers, the particles left over in our parents' minds, in our minds, the elderly ones who lived within that military time. These things happening. You can now say, What on earth would make someone who has put in on this to be arrested? Has he broken any law? The legal minds will say, no, he hasn't broken any law. I think there is a program that is going to, okay, we will broadcast, or maybe it's going on Njenje now because it's 12:20 o'clock. It's a program that ought to run simultaneously. We having Newsband is having a lawyer explore this as well. Now, the whole point here is, people, did he break the law? If he didn't break the law, why was it arrested? If he broke the law, why don't you charge him? To start with, though the military have the right of arrests, some argue that the citizens even can also effect arrests. But now, do the military have the right of detention? The answer is absolute no. If things, let's say he was doing something abnormal at the point of the military intervening, some have argued that the military actually abducted him. Some say it was a military kidnap. Now, here is not the platform for that rigmarole of nomenclatures. The question, and absolute question here is, and it's very simple, people: did he commit any crime? Did he? If he didn't, question is, why? No, not. Oh dear, Nigeria is. Is there Nigeria? Nigeria has a way of doing you. The question is actually not about speaking to him, you know, telling him to come with us. One, the manner of arrest where resistance is not applied, the manner, dragging him on the road. Two, keeping him under military custody overnight. In ideal world, what should have happened is that the military after that would have handed him over to the Nigerian police. But that didn't happen. Now, let me show us. Maybe you have watched it. The following happened here. I would also bring in the Arise crew, who would eventually, with me, the conversations that they had earlier today, we will review this together. Now, this happened before now, and that was, before the military released him. Watch.
See, no, I can wear this. My vehicle is parked at the center of our.
No worry, that one.
Hold on. So, this is rising. This is sun. This is rising sun, not Biafra, not Eastern Security Network. Do you understand? Stand up. So, with my education, I know areas to go, areas not to go.
You see, with his education, he knows areas to go and areas not to go. But he said something that's not ESN, that's not Biafra, right? So, in hindsight, was it expedient for him to have put that in? And that's where I think many of you would disagree. But who cares? Considering the security and the precarious situation in the southeast in particular, or in the southeast in general, and Anambra State in the last 1 week in particular, was it wise for him to have done this? You might disagree watching. Would you, if someone says go to OP worker today, dress like this, would you do that? When the military struck in 1966 and took over, in one of the interviews, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was asked, why did they hand over to the military? Why was there no form of resistance? And he said, many of you might consider him a coward, but I think he was a wise man. He said, and I quote, "It is only a foolish man that argues with a man with a gun, unquote. Now, if I come back to this and I say again, does he, I honestly do not know the point he wanted to prove by putting this on. Because when I saw this, I honestly thought he was on set. I was, like I said at the beginning, I was looking at to see where the cameras were, the cameras that were shooting this movie, but it appeared no movie. Now, even here, he said that he was, um, even in this, he was saying that he was buying bread worth of 10,000 and sharing them. But if you go back to that video and watch from the beginning, that's why I think, honestly, I don't know, because maybe the point we started, you see when the guy that actually made everybody, because I believe everybody that watched the video was watching it like this, because the guy, I don't know whether he drank hero before the guy that recorded that, I don't know whether he drank hero before recording it, because he was putting the camera upside down. So at the end of the day, people, it's understanding where you are, the precarious situation. My final point here will be, people, let us be very circumvent on the things we do. Yes, you might want to make a point. You know, if I'm visiting Aso Rock today, because I'm friend to no one, I will be proud to wear my own dot. I've worn this to the airports. What do you mean? It's me, but it's done in a different way, because the president said you're the dotted one. I said fine. You've given me lemons. I want to make lemonade out of them. But let me quickly complete this. You see what I am talking about. Sorry, sorry. So I don't know what the military, how they actually got involved in this. In my opinion, these, the whole situation is so tense that we don't need to stoke more fire to make it more tenser, to to create more tension. And many people have said actually that hero beer, today, I said here, many people say the hero, he has the rising sun, which he said here, and I'll come back to him here. He said here, he talked about the rising sun, which is one of the emblem on the Biafran flag,
So let's
right?
listen to
He
the
talked
facts.
about it.
They know how to react to the facts. This is
the implication of this thing.
rising sun. Me, I believe that.
More than 30 minutes.
I was right.
Gather people.
If you talk about well, this is just civil dress.
Come this way.
I was buying bread, 10,000 naira bread, sharing them one.
Come this way.
No campaign, nothing. Sharing bread, 10,000 worth of bread. When they came, nobody was doing demonstration or carrying people along. People who were hungry, I was giving them bread.
I tell you.
I was giving them bread.
Then deploy
You did wrong to give to feed.
Well, that now he was saying that on this he was, see here on your dot, the dotted one. On this, they said people called my attention on the hero, and I said I'm going to do the following. So here, I'm not going to do an advert for them. So this is my own hero. So now that I'm drinking hero on set, I will be watching when DSS, or what's it called, Nigerian Army, they might be around trying to jump fence. But I will say, before you jump fence, you have to get drained to also drain this one out of my tummy. See? Have I broken any law? I don't know. Have I broken any law? But let's also see what he did say also when he was released.
He is
settled with the army, and he is actually a happy man. You have anything to say to him?
Hello?
Keep on supporting.
Hello?
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
members of Actors Guild of Nigeria. Mr. President sent me here yesterday
Yeah.
because of the problem with the army had
Mm.
with Chiwetalu Agu. I'm here at the division, Nigerian Army headquarters in Enugu. This is Chiwetalu Agu. Mr. President, American rulers, this is Chiwetalu Agu. He is hale and healthy. Nothing happened to him. He is settled with the army, and he is actually a happy man. You have anything to say to him? Keep on supporting knowledge. It's the only hope, the only baby we have to sustain both our public and our private lives. Thank you very much.
So you've seen it? That was when he was released from the DSS, or from the Nigerian army. And what happened? He got released, but the DSS came in. The whole matter is getting complicated. And when something like this begins to happen, you see that from nowhere, the whole thing just gets complicated. Honestly, I think now the Nigerian Guild of whatever, they went to see him. The video also, we published it about 30 minutes ago. Credit to BBC News Igbo also, who sent reporters there. However, it's sadly for only those who do understand Igbo, because BBC obviously only speaks in Igbo. But again, if you pay and watch closely, you will also understand what they're saying, because many people there, in as much as it is Igbo, but they can't even speak proper Igbo. So they do English Igbo. So if you pay attention, you might miss 20-30% of what they say, but at least you get a gist of what they are saying. So having said that, people, the question that we should ask ourselves now is, was any law broken? Again, because this is something that has to do with national security, obviously, you all are aware of what IPOB have been accused of. This case is not yet settled in court, so the court has not vacated any order or any gazette that says you've been proscribed. You can all get angry. You can all say this is not the case, but for now, this is what the law says until vacated. Therefore, I would think that it's a time that people get a little bit circumvent. For me, it will make no sense that you want to prove a point and land yourself into trouble. Now, to get to this much deeper, we would first of all go to what second part of these conversation, and we'll still come back to Chiwetalu Agu actually. But when we do that, we'll come back with the Arise thing. But for now, I want to look at where Atiku Abubakar is speaking from both sides of his mouth as it concerns the 2023 presidential election. You see, I give us background here. The PDP, the committee to look at zoning outsmarted Atiku. And you know how they did that? Normally, when they zone offices to the north, the presidency is likely to go south. And when they do that, vice versa. So now, Uche Secondus, as the PDP, chairman, the presidential staff, presidential candidates or the presidency, unspokenly, inadvertently, was zoned to the north. Now, these guys met and said, okay, we have given you we held the chairmanship. Now we are relinquishing this chairmanship to the north. What it means is you cannot have the chairmanship. When election comes, you say, okay, we are having the presidency. So that's goal number one. But I think once that happened, Atiku realized, whoa. So these guys have played me somehow. They played me Ojoro. And he's now thinking to himself, how best do I now deal with this? Yet this is a man who had always supported the concept and had always benefited from the concept of zoning. When he comes here, because he's somewhat is too desperate to get to being the president of Nigeria. Therefore, suddenly he says he doesn't think, well, not the exact word, but suddenly in general, he doesn't think zoning would help or zoning makes any sense. So let me get the Arise team to join me, please, virtually. Obviously, you guys had this conversation this morning. What I'm doing now is to use your content for the content analysis. So join me here.
Atiku Abubakar, in which he dismissed the debate on zoning of the party's presidential ticket as the solution to Nigeria's leadership crisis. While speaking at the 94th National Executive Committee of the main opposition party in Abuja on Thursday, Atiku argued that the zoning of the 2023 presidential ticket has never been the cause of the country's problem, nor will it be the solution.
People, I don't know what happened. No. Is it because I'm talking about Atiku and and they want to articunize my studio? I don't know what happened, honestly. I don't know what happened. So let's start again. Whether they like it or not, we must continue. So this analysis. It's I'm loving it.
Trending with reactions trailing comments made by Nigeria's former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, in which he dismissed the debate on zoning of the party's presidential ticket as the solution to Nigeria's leadership crisis. While speaking at the 94th National Executive Committee of the main opposition party in Abuja on Thursday, Atiku argued that the zoning of the 2023 presidential ticket has never been the cause of the country's problem, nor will it be the solution. Let's take a listen.
The People's Democratic Party has the right to determine its rules on how the party should be governed. The people of Nigeria also have the right to determine who governs them. Where the president comes from has never been the problem of Nigeria. And I can cite examples. Neither will it be the solution. There is no such thing as a president from southern Nigeria or a president from northern Nigeria. There is only one, a president from Nigeria, for Nigeria, by Nigerians.
Tundu, do you agree with his statement?
No. In a word, no.
In a regular democratic dispensation, maybe yes, right?
Yeah.
But Nigeria frequently is not in a regular democratic dispensation. That's a fact that all of us must begin to understand, because nothing, and absolute nothing, what we do appears to be normal.
Yes, in the future, even, I have high hopes for this country as always, but right now, no. Not in where we find ourselves, the precarious position that we find ourselves, where the actual existence of Nigeria is being imperiled at this moment because of the complete lack of national unity. But, Atiku Abubakar would say that, wouldn't he? Bless him. Bless him. I mean, he's wanted to be president so badly.
Right.
So, of course, he's going to say that. And when he gave us this historical perspective, it really brought home how he's been front and center for so long, so close, yet so far. So I do understand where he will be coming from when he says that, but I don't quite agree.
Dr. Bati, do you agree?
Okay, Abati, I know you make it long, but please, help us make it.
Vice President Atiku Abubakar says zoning is not Nigeria's problem, nor will it be the solution. Well, it is a problem. It was a problem in 1998, 1999, as we tried to transit from civilian rule, from a military rule to civilian rule. And we were told that there was a consensus at the time that to address the fears, the concerns of people of the Southwest, given the debacle of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, that the best way to assuage the fears of the people of the Southwest was to allow a person from the Southwest to emerge. And that was why in that election you had, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, you had also Chief Olu Falai, emerging as the key candidates, because it was thought that with the crisis we had up to that point, you needed to, pacify, mollify the people of the southwestern part of Nigeria. When President Olu...
Now, see, Ruben Abbott is talking, and again, what was not shown in this video is where Atiku actually gave the narrative of how in 1999, the political structure then under PDP and AD gave the presidential ticket to Olusegun Obasanjo and to Chief Olu Falai, specifically done so in order to appease him for the death of Moshood Abiola, that is the young lady on the Abati's right, that is the daughter of Abiola, if you don't know. So, for them to appease that. Now, fast forward, a couple of years later, we are in that same trajectory. And I think that's where, for equity and fairness, the people of the Southwest and the people of the North must begins to, because if you remember, there was, I think, was it Obonayono or was it someone who actually stepped down for Bola again when the election, the name fails me now, but if you remember, there's this a prominent Igbo guy, he stepped down for Bola again. Now, and sorry, is it Bola or Olufalai? So for them to, it said he's not going to contest in order to give the Yoruba nation the fairness for them to put some people forward to ensure that whoever emerges or whoever emerged, either from any of these parties, that they were going to come from the Southwest. I think it is time that other parts of Nigeria begin to think in that line.
Olusegun Obasanjo completed his tour of duty in 2007. It was thought, okay, let this go, back to the north, right? When President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua died in 2010, the zoning of the presidency was an issue. Exactly. And that was why you had all of that drama, over the emergence of President, Goodluck Jonathan, and all that talk about the doctrine of necessity and all of that. Well, don't let me stretch it further. We're confronted with the same problem now in 2021. And there are people who are saying, for us to have equity and justice, nobody should talk about, competence, merit, zoning is not a problem. Let it go around first.
Bagam, someone is saying, I think Olatunji Olufasin here is saying, and I read his tweets, why zoning the presidency? Why not return back to regional government? Yes, Olatunji here, Olatunji. Okay, Mr. Olatunji. So what I'm saying in essence here is, even if you go back to the regional government, the president or the prime minister has to still come from somewhere. Now, if you go back to the countries like Switzerland, you see that They know they have various entities that speak various languages: Italian, French, German, and believe English. So what they now do is to say, for this specific time, the presidency has to come from here. I think if Nigeria was in any way, atom, or shape of interested in becoming a nation, what Nigeria should have done is the proposition by late Dr. Alex Ekweme, who said, if Nigeria puts in 30 years to get things right, what they should have done, or what his proposition was, a single tenure of 5 years. And that's where this geopolitical zone came in. That was his concept, that was his idea. A single tenure where you can say every 5 years, when you do election, let's say we started with Northwest, being Buhari and Yaradua. The next one, it might come to South. It could be, let's say, during the time of Jonathan, that was 5 years, was South-South. So you have the NW, then you have the SS, which is the South-South. Then the next time it goes to the North. And you and I know that if you do not zone it, it is very unlikely for the North Central or for the Northeast to get it, because Northeast is almost like Southeast. In fact, they have a lot in common. When you talk about marginalization, these two regions have a lot in common. Now, but if you bring in the sense of equity and fairness, it will be then obvious what you could now charge these entities to do. If I know that it is the turn of South-South, that in the next 5 years, it is going to be the turn of Northeast, it will mean that every Nigerian and the people of Northeast must have 5 years to think of who they are going to bring, to sit down and say, if we want anything changed here, these are the things we are proposing. 5 years, you have that time, you think, you make, you listen, all these idiots masquerading in the corridors of power that have absolute nothing to offer. You just know that they will not even come around because they are not even in the 5th 11, talk less of 3rd or 2nd 11. It is time every region, however if you call it region, if you want to call it state, if you want to call it however you want to call it, even many of us that prefer the regional governance as to these over-centralization that we have today, would argue it will give you time to plan. After Northwest, I'm just giving an example. Then when it comes down to South, it could then down be either Southwest or Southeast. But however, it is only 5 years. And again, if you understand what Jonathan was thinking when he made that proposition after winning the 2011 election, you remember Jonathan made after meeting Emeka Anyoko, and based on the things he also saw himself, nobody told him, Jonathan proposed a tenure of 5 or 6 years, single tenure, because he was alarmed on the amount he spent to win that election. Really, after completing Yeradua's, he was alarmed. Now, come to 2015, he now spent the money that remember for a time, for like about 2 weeks, the president was missing, kneeling down in every other palace in the Southwest and going from church to church. You only see him when photo emerges where they point hand at him as if Harry Potter and his gang are trying to do something funny. But sadly, the nation is not interested. And that's why you keep on and you end up having people saying, let us break the damn thing if it's not working, because common sense we do not want to apply. We do not want to apply common sense. A single tenure of 5 to 6 years, I believe, is better, because if we had a single tenure of 6 years, this horror movie we are in now would have come to an end, isn't it? Because the time of election, whoever was going to come in would have made changes and propositions to say, okay, I know these things didn't happen right under this person, but these are my propositions if you vote me. It will become a campaign issue. Oh, I know these people are wanting referendum. What can we then do? If they are wanting referendum, can we offer them XYZ? Can we even offer them this referendum on these conditionalities? I mean, these are things that are negotiated. But when people are demanding for certain things and certain people are saying, we're not even going to listen to it, I think it breeds more anger and it kind of makes the whole thing worse than it is.
The parts of the country that have not produced a president since 20.
No, since 1999, the part of the country that has never produced any president is the Northeast, the Southeast, and the North Central. So, if we say the power is coming to South, it is only proper that when you look at Northeast and Southeast, sorry, Northeast and North Central, it is only proper that these NN, not North, are in the North. The only one that is not there is the Southeast. When after 8 years or however you want to do it, the power wants to return to the North. Northwest has nothing, even if they have nothing they can offer. It must be either from someone from the North Central or the North, someone from the North Central or someone from the Northeast. It's as simple as that. Whenever it then comes down to the South again, if the Southeast in 2023 has taken its turn, it will be a crime for anybody from the Southeast to think of whenever it comes down to go back again. Because if you do, you will be shortchanging the South-South and you will be shortchanging the Southwest. Until we get equity, fairness, and justice into our scores, Nigeria will continue to move in the direction it goes, because everything that happens to us, be it with what has happened to Chiwetalu Agu, it is a case of the same fairness, equity, and justice. Is it something that happens to you? You come back from Holland, as a friend of mine did, on his way from Lagos to Anambra. Getting to Benin, he was stopped by then SARS. Looked at his phone. What in God's name does a police officer on the street have to do with your freaking phone? Yes, when they looked at it, saw some bank alerts. I think that was GTB Bank or whatever. Oh, this guy had some cash, and they kidnapped him. I say kidnapped. Took him to ATM, and he had to bail himself with money. Obviously, because he was between the deep blue sea and whatever. He had to pay in order to be alive. Because listen, people, it's not cowardice. Somebody pointing gun at you, you think, oh, I've watched James Bond. Let me just, they taught us a martial art. If you just boom, the gun will just go like this. Oga, na 6 feet they go so. Because it would only make by your movement the person agitates. He doesn't want to kill you. But that agitation, you see hand touches the trigger, that's it. That's what it takes. But you can be mumu. Oga, give me your purse. Here is my purse. Give me your telephone. Here is my telephone, especially if you're using an iPhone. Because at that point, the thief doesn't want to know if it's an iPhone. If it's an iPhone, it's as good as taking stone and giving it to him, because it will amount to nothing. So why even drag? Even if it's an Android, why the phone is not even more than your life. So when we understand certain things, we find out that these guys did same, just allowed, and they took whatever they took. But at least they are alive. Again, but it boils down to something that is terribly wrong with us, because it is a case of injustice. So people, thank you everyone who is watching. I am still Mazes, okay, and this is Njenje Media TV. I know so many of you are joining me now. Thank you, Facebook. I don't know what's with there is a problem with our Facebook page. I think there was one of the you know our account is being reduced, that we don't the views are being suppressed in Facebook. But be that as it may, please, if you're joining me on Facebook, kindly like this stream. The same thing applies to those of you who are watching me now on YouTube. Please like and share. The two things you only need to do. So, having said that, people, let's come back and get back to the Arise team in the studio. Thank you very much for being part of this broadcast today. It is still Njenje Media TV. I am still Mazes, okay, and this is Friday Hangout, where we hang out with something in a bottle. It could be water, it could be hero, as in this case, it could be anything. Just get something and join me in this conversation where we analyze these issues.
Since 1999 should be allowed to do so. So underscore, I think is wrong. And I think it's also important to put it in context. He spoke before the National National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party met. So maybe perhaps he was speaking in line with his own expectations, that the National Executive Committee will say, oh, we reject the recommendation of the Ungwanyin Committee and we're zoning the presidency to the north, which will fit into his own expectations. He says, well, it will not be the solution. Yeah, maybe he's absolutely right in that regard, because we have seen that the politics of proximity, that's the technical word for it in political science, does not necessarily deliver. The fact that you have your own person there.
On this one, Abati, I agree. The presidency of proximity does not deliver. The people of Castina, you see, when I hear my brothers and sisters in the Southeast cry about what the government is doing, well, I agree. But if you listen to the cries of his own people, you would actually go and happiness more. You know why? I tell you, Zamfara, for instance, is a killing field. Killing field. As to human beings, you and I, with flesh and blood, are being wasted every day. Every single day. Yet, well, they have to smile and wave your hand. Smile and wave. That's what they ought to do. And that's what apparently they are doing. Because you have a president that has not benefited his people. When people say, what did Jonathan do for two? Okay, nothing Buhari they do for some Castina. Honestly, poverty is worse now than Buhari came in. Imagine if you're from Zamfara or if you're from Castina. You go to, I do not think, honestly, let me not say, but I don't know anyone watching me now here that is from Anambra State. I don't know if you can recall the last time you seen a house built with mud. In the last 10 years, I have not, everywhere I visit in the hinterlands of Anambra State, seen a mud house. Mud house. Yet, here is a state that have had the presidency for the past 8 years. No school, or rather, there is no improvement in the education of the public in that state. Not a housing scheme that has benefited the people of Castina. Nothing. So when you come with the president of proximity, yes, I do agree with Abati that the president of proximity does not necessarily happen. But for the psychological gratification of equity, fairness, and justice, yes, let it go round. If you say we are, when it comes to political, when we want to improve our political lexicon and jargons, yes, we use the six geopolitical nomenclature. But when it comes to equity, oh no, it doesn't matter. So you think you can go to any region not east, southeast, northwest, southwest, or any region, and say that they have to get their best. Every single one of this region has it. The challenge is that the Nigerians themselves sometimes don't want the best. Here on this platform, if you scroll, I saw people making argument if they put Tinubu and Peter Obi, who do you think is going to win? Do we want to do the poll here? The person that is going to win, no matter how you pretend, is the person that is willing to dole out the more cash. The challenge with Nigerian and every Nigerian is that which we seem to be criticizing somewhat is our greatest undoing. Because at the end of the day, you see, on the election day, those who are saying, we want this, will still be willing and ready to collect peanuts and sell their votes. And once the vote is sold, and everybody goes back after 4 years and they begin to complain. Whereas, if you ask politicians, which I did, this is an argument I did under Goodluck Jonathan, under Buhari, my own is what they, because person where you know vote, where you know support, what can concern you. So he has already said 5% and dot. So who cares? But under Goodluck Jonathan, the argument I had with Igbo leaders were, you guys are saying, no, we support you, support you, support you. I say, okay, hold on. On what ground? It's not enough to call me your people. It is not enough to say that I'm your brother. No, it is not. Can you tell me in black and white the things we extracted from this presidency? Don't bring emotion. In our place, there's tell me, what are the things we have extracted? What in black and white? Tell me, number one, this, number two, this, number three, the other one. Then put timelines to it. If you have to do this, this is what it is. No. We extracted nothing. No, nothing. The ones we extracted were for their pockets. Their pockets. Tell me what they did. Oh, if we didn't build second Niger Bridge, we will go on exile. The date came 2014 and ended. Did anybody go on exile? Nah, come here. Make listen.
What Matthew Hassan Kuka, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka calls the Maonization of power. So you think, oh, this man is from my village, this man is from my town, oh, now that he's president, I will benefit from it. It doesn't work that way. And that's why the people of Songota are complaining that President Obasanjo, who lives in their own neighborhood and who was president for 8 years, who was head of state, even before then, they don't have good roads to get to their house. So all this concept about whether, if your kinsman is in power, then your fears will be addressed, your problems will solve. Maybe it's right in that regard. His third point has to do with the power of the party, that a political party can make its own choices. Yes, it was the PDP that came up with this administrative handmaiden about rotational presidency in 1998, 1999. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the PDP, when it goes to its primaries, its convention, may then say that, look, okay, the president can come from wherever.
Right.
When that happens, we'll deal with it. But to all politicians, I think the main point is that it's the people of Nigeria that should choose their own president.
Absolutely. Rufai.
Before Rufai interjects, and obviously I believe he will deliver his masterfully as always, and I will think again, somewhat that the Nigerians are yet to be ready to do the right things. Because if not, what stops Nigeria to demand a one-time presidency? Remember, Goodluck Jonathan, after meeting with Emeka Nyoka, was telling that story around 2011, actually pushed for that. It's still online. It's still everywhere. I remember vividly, like yesterday. That was thwarted by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Then ACN. Is it the AC, I think? No. Then it has become, 2011, it become ACN when Nihu Rubadu ran on the platform. Has become a CM. And you can imagine if people supported that idea at that time. Oh no, Jonathan was planning if after he finishes 4 years, he would do another 5 years. And Jonathan came out and actually said, no, I'm willing to write this down. If I finish this time, I'm not going in any other time if we agree on this. If it is a place where politicians, sometimes these opposition politics sometimes drags nations backwards. Sometimes it's done with all the very ill intentions that whatever you and I want as citizens, sometimes the rough fight between the ruling party and the opposition party sometimes destroys the future of nations. Sometimes I ask myself, whether if we actually made for democracy, or I don't know whether we actually ready and made for democracy. Because imagine if that was not shut down as of that time. Having won election, having seen that this is too costly, that anytime you want to do an election because you are an incumbent, people will now hold you in your brocos. For you to ask them to leave some gas in the without squeezing it more, you begin to dole out cash. Of course, Nigerian presidency always have cash to dole out, if not print more money. They give, if you pay visit, they give you in dollars. I mean, that's the words of Pastor Tunde Bakari, who was given $50,000 when they did Save Nigerian Group. That's not my word. That is Tunde Bakari's word. And these are commonsensical things that the nation could do. If they do these things, yes, of course, they will be getting somewhere. No, but they don't want to think about it. They don't want to do it. If you don't want to do these things, how are you going to? If it becomes too much that every time you want to do an election, why don't you come together and say, okay, can we solve this problem? It's very simple to solve. You already have 6 geographical zones. Agree on a single time, 5, 6 years, it doesn't matter. Freaking if it gets to Yoruba town and the Yoruba nation thinks it's Tinubu, then let it be Tinubu. If it gets to the Igbo nation and they say let it be Peter Obi, every other person supports. For a national leader to lead, but when he gets to some place now, I think many people, if he gets to Northwest and they say, make you bring a Buhari, some people will say, nah, make you no bring. Because if he bring me, if I break me, if I pay me.
And I warn in the first service, for those of you that like to fall under anointing and break things, if you fall under anointing again in this church and break anything you pay, from today is break and pay. Any spirit that breaks anything in this church again will pay. That mad demon. This camera is 1 million. If you are falling under anointing, don't go there. Tell the demon inside of you not to go to this camera. You want to fall under power. You fall break television. You fall break camera stand. You fall break. Don't go near that computer system or media. If they come there, fire will burn them. You touch one computer there, 500,000. Always falling under anointing. Pastor shake you, fall under anointing. Pastor touch your head, you fall under anointing. Pastor say, come here. You near pastor, you fall under anointing. Faller. Please stop falling, bring money.
Okay, see, me, you where they watch me, make you know they fall. Make you bring. Make you stop falling, bring money. That is it. It's a Friday hangout. You are falling. It is a spiritual thing. Stop falling. Pay your tithe. Njenje Media is collecting tithe now. Pay your tithe. Super chat.
Your analysis on this.
So for me, it goes back to that narrative of politicians who say they'll build bridges where there are no rivers. They always say things because it will favor them. If Atiku Abubakar is saying it doesn't matter, why is it that in 1998, when they gave the ticket to Olusegun Obasanjo, why didn't he accept for another Yoruba man so that it'd be a Yoruba ticket to go?
You see, I so much like this guy. You see how he just pisses Atiku. Atiku became, if you remember, in 1999, Atiku won the governorship of Adamawa State, capital Yola, Jimeta, right? He won. But because there was a south north zoning, Atiku could have won the election under NRC SDP, but sadly, he was outsmarted, or something happened. His mentor, the General Yaradua, called him and said, "Step, mellow." And I think King Gibe then, eventually he could have actually won in the Congress then, PDP Congress. I think he was poised to win Abiola, but somehow some games were played. So it became, that's a political expedient. The main man of that moment, was the brother to Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, the general himself. The reason why actually Obasanjo single-handedly handed over the presidency to Umaru Musa Yar'Adua posthumously, just for him to hold it in trust for his late brother. See, these things, it's funny, but that's where power is given. There are some calculus, there are some calculations. Even in 2023 now, the calculations that is going in there, it's unbelievable. You people are seeing somebody in London hospital already learning the ropes from the people with the left ear problem, learning the ropes already, how to stay in London hospital. But he's already campaigning from London hospital. You want me to say the name from my mouth? Tell DSS that I'm about to go to sleep. You are interested in governing Nigeria by proxy. All you can now do is, that every Nigerian, people got angry, talked about your president running away from Nigeria, relocating to London for over 3 months. And there were another person and says, "Oh, I want to be president when it comes to the South." He goes, and where is the brain of African leaders? Sorry, sometimes people get angry. You governed freaking Lagos for 8 freaking years. You couldn't build a hospital that could take care of you when you get ill. And you go to London, you stay there. You're not ashamed. And every other person is singing all one before you. "Oh, Mr. President." And I'm like, oh, Thunder must be busy. I'm telling you, must be busy somewhere in the forest of Bomosho. If not, you can come and do some homework. Don't let me get angry. Thank you, Emmanuel. I still dey laugh and fall and break things under your political anointing. Oh dear, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you for the super chat. But again, even your comment cracked me up. Your comment made my evening. It says a political anointing. I want others to read. It says, "I still did laugh and fall and break." I beg, no break it too much. If you they break, I want make it they break my bank. They break in Njenje Media Bank. No, they break or your Android phone. Please don't break it, because if you break your Android phone, they use Tecno 111. The one where get touchlight. So do you, okay? So people, sometimes when one does these Nigerian analysis, you can't but sometimes get angry in the muishness and the madness of how things are panning out. You think you're taking a step backwards, before you know it, you are taking 50, 60 steps backwards. Man, look at Cameroonian President Paul Biya. Ran away from his country for years, go to France. Hey! Why is it that Nigeria cannot have a president? Do you know the optics of it? Yes, it is human to be sick. Mazi Ezeoke can be sick. You watching me can be sick. It is human to be sick. But at least, do you know who cares if the president flies in those doctors? But again, you can't fly them because those doctors are still Nigerians. If after 6 years you cannot fix the basic things, even in the presidential hospital, then ask me, where do they fry moi moi or akra with their brains? Why can't you build, even if it's in Castina, build these hospitals? When you retire, at least you go there. When you die, your grandchildren will see a place that somebody can treat them. Your village people, how can you hate yourself so much that, honestly, give me Nigerian presidency, call it nepotism, so be it. Every the sixth geographical zone in this country will have one of the world best class hospital in 2 years, in a matter of 2 years. And one will also be in my own geographical region. I don't care where they site them, if it's Enugu, Abakaliki, I don't bloody care, but at least I know. However the road bad, however tight, I can travel from my hometown to Enugu under 2 hours, to Abakaliki under 3 hours. It is still easier for me to fly to London or fly to America or fly to Germany. That will take me hours. By the time you don't finish queue, to even go to cost, even if it's VIP, you must go through custom. It is still, even if it means that because you lived, your people are no longer dying, that once they have certain diseases, they can go to hospital. And I mean, is it not enough? Must it be only about yourself? But again, even they hate themselves to a point that these things, they can't even do it for themselves. What's stopping you from doing it?
Why did he benefit from the balancing out? And they brought him in to get vice presidential tickets and run to the Obasanjo after he had won governorship election in Adamawa before. So because it's not favoring him now, he wants to push himself there, and that's why he's saying it. I don't expect this. Because he is an outsider in this country. He knows what is happening. Nobody is forcing it, but this is just justice.
And it's unfair, yes.
And it's unfair. Let it come back to the South. And what are you saying? Are you invariably saying that there are no qualified people in the South? There are competent people everywhere in this country.
You see, let me tell you let me give you a secret to my heart. See, as this place don't tire me. So you know what I'm actually thinking? 2023, let it, if not central, bring another one. Because I believe with the level of zeal I see for these new southern governors and the ones that may come in, you go reach to that point, they would sit up for the first time in their life and say, okay, here in our list, we don't write them. If we don't know what make we talk about this list, make everybody be going on. Honestly, I think it has gotten to that point that we must. Anyway, I think honestly, I don't see them not doing that. Mazio be into Donke, RS, shameless people and gullible followers. Thank you very much for the super chat. So, like I said, somehow within me, I'm in the back of my mind, I just make it happen to myself. Just take it. Let's see. Whether everybody goes just sit down, they look on. Say will be moment.
But we are talking about fairness here. And I'm sure if power comes to the South 2023.
Listen, fairness doesn't exist in Nigeria. It's a strange language. Everybody is just glutinously greedy.
You will see competent Nigerians come out. But most importantly, what we should even look at that we don't look at is the need for competent institutions in this country. And we don't talk about that in a narrative. The reason why politicians can do what they do is because we don't have competent institutions. America voted in Trump, but he couldn't do whatever he wanted to do because they were competent institutions. So we should have a judiciary that works, a competent institution across board. INEC should be truly independent. Then once you have that, the economy starts to work. So please, let's not say because we want to play politics. And his party, the governors have met, they voted to zone power. Invariably, they not voted to zone power to the south, but when they say the national chairman of the party will come from, then should come from the north, definitely. Presidential candidate should come from the south. Right. He should accept it. If God, because power comes from God.
You always say that. Yeah.
If God says he will be president, maybe someday.
Nah, Rufai, I disagree with you on this one. Not lie. God is busy. Even for God's agenda, Nigeria no day. So God is busy helping people with not all these are mumu robbed with ogri and wrapped with evilness. And you say God is not interested anymore. Listen, he has given us what he denied others. Is it mineral resources? Is it the manpower? It's just for you to all the ingredients to make soup he has given to you, and you're asking God to come and get interested and make the soup for you. If not me, I'll make ogri soup and rub it in. So God is not, honestly, I'm being honest, because he's giving you freaking damn everything that you need to make it happen. But we keep, still. If now you be God and your Pekin be Nigeria, wouldn't you be 6 latches morning, afternoon, and night? Wouldn't now so if na miss na so I go to do, because the mumuness of it can only be removed by harsher labor. Maybe that's why we actually suffering, because our mumu never do.
I know he truly wants to be president, but this one, he should come to the south.
Well said,
this time around.
Well said, Rufai. We'll take another story. The arrest of popular Nollywood.
So again, that's where Atiku Wahala stopped. So let's go back to what we discussed at the beginning. Now, the case of Chiwetalu Agu, once more, we come back to the front burner again.
Actor Chiwetalu Agu on Thursday by the Nigerian army for allegedly supporting the indigenous people of Biafra has caused outrage among many Nigerians and the Nollywood industry. The army spokesperson, Onyema Nwachukwu, while detailing the reason for the actor's arrest, accused him of inciting members of the public and soliciting for the support of the indigenous people of Biafra.
So before we go further to this, many of you who are watching, I've read the comments. Some of you are saying Rufai for president, but what we're going to do, we're going to bring 3 candidates, because we say these presidents must come to the south. Now, some of you added Rufai to this mix, and I'm liking it. Okay, let's do a vote here and see what is going to happen. So let us vote for President 2023. Number 1, Tinubu. Number 2, Peter Obi. Number 3, Rufai. Sorry, Arise TV Rufai. That's 3. So let's see who is going to win. So you can write 1, 2, 3. 1 goes for Tinubu, 2 for Peter Obi. Or you can write their name, actually. Rufai. You might not put Arise TV Rufai, just put in Rufai. So let's see. Because let's see whether these people on this platform are also corrupt. Well, let's go. While you're doing that, let's go back to the story, people, please.
Because he was dressed in a very well-known attire of the group. Nwachukwu also claimed that the actor was not assaulted or subjected to brutalization during the arrest, as it has been reported in the news. Well, let's take a quick look at this footage of his alleged arrest before we come back for a discussion.
Bamba.
I mean, Rufai, what does that look like to you?
I mean, thank God, camera pictures don't lie. Is that not the man they were carrying there? So what is brutalization? And I heard gunshots in the air.
They were shooting in the air.
So why?
They were shooting in
the air.
So
why do we keep doing this? Why? Thank God there are picture evidence there. I mean, they will say that was doctored.
No.
Please show it again. Let people make up their mind. Can't you see who they were carrying? And were there no gunshots?
Now, the issue about him wearing that Biafra attire, Tundu, I mean, what is that as it relates to the law? Do they have a right to do that?
Well, it's been a few years since I first heard that you will be arrested if you own fly or sell the Biafra flag. I tried to buy one. You know I'm into my costumes.
Yes.
For World Book Day, I tried to buy one for my boy to get dressed as Ojukwu. We do historical figures. And I couldn't buy one for love or money in Lagos because apparently you will be arrested. But the law in Nigeria is, if you're arrested, fine. But can you be prosecuted if there's no law that exists specifically criminalizing the sale or ownership of a Biafra flag? That's my issue. In Lagos, the Delta, Abia, Anambra, name it. Over the years, there have been announcements by the police. Commissioners of police have come out to say, if you own this, you'll be arrested. And even now, this year, in Anambra, I believe it was, on Independence Day, people were told if you fly a Nigerian flag, you will be dealt with. This is where we are in this country. And I'm going to link it to your previous story about Atiku Abubakar's presidential ambition, which he has the right to have, but for crying out loud, not now. Look at what is going on in this country. He was carried like, I thought they were carrying like a sack of rice. That was a man.
It's not
And
that
that's
That
not
was
an
a
assault?
man. They were manhandling in that fashion.
Then they also
because of his attire.
Yes.
Not that he had attacked anybody. This is where we are as a country today. It's really worrying. We need to do something about this national cohesion. And I go back to the first communique of the Southern governors, which said that we need a national conversation. There must be a national dialogue. We can't go on like this.
Do you think that it was insightful, Dr. Abati?
No,
Yeah.
there was no incitement there because no person can be arrested or prosecuted under a law that does not exist.
Exactly. God bless you, Dr. Ruben Abati. Now, I want to happiness more for the truthfulness. I said it at the beginning. I do not know of any law known to man that he has broken, because I do not know that a certain section of the Constitution bans the flag.
In Nigeria, Section 36, Section 8, and Subsection 12 of the 1999 Constitution. The whole body of Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution deals with fair hearing. And that is also the position in Aoko versus Fagbemi in 1961 case. You can't be tried under a law that does not exist. There's no law in Nigeria that says you can only wear certain particular kinds of clothes.
Imagine.
So the man can wear what he likes. That's number one. Number two, the military, the army, has issued a statement saying that it was inciting people. Well, we can't see the evidence, except this video is limited. He was not preaching to anybody. No. He was not conducting any rally.
Standing right there.
And if they're saying IPOB is a proscribed organization, as the statement from the Nigerian army says, it is IPOB that is prescribed. It's not Biafra.
Correct. It's not a flag. What does that have to do with
anything?
There. See, that's people here. We agree totally. Everyone here, because I said it at the beginning. Before I even listened to this, and I said it at the beginning. When I started, I said, "What? I am not aware that the word Biafra or the Biafran flag, where 3 million people lost their lives, was proscribed. The only time they could arrest this man is if they had asked him, are you a member of IPOB? And he said, yes. Because the law, as gazetted in Nigeria, has proscribed IPOB and he is a member, then he could be arrested. But just by putting on this, I thought, man, this is taking it too far.
Since the declaration of the Civil War in 1967, and Chiwetalu Agu can wear whatever he likes.
Yes.
Now, and okay, except they have the evidence. 3, I think that the Nigerian army owes Chiwetalu Agu an apology.
Absolutely.
And they should compensate him for brutalizing him. Because I think the Nigerian...
But you talk as if you've relocated from this place we are. You talk as if you've relocated and gone to the other room. Eh? In this country, you are talking about compensation and apology. Haba. Talk better thing now. How can you be? Let me ask you. Even if I bring the president and say, Oga Buhari, what do you think about this country?
The government has failed to do its...
No, me talk. If I bring him back again as Oga Buhari, what do you talk?
The government has failed to do its principal duty of protecting life or property of all beings inside its territory.
Well, you see, if the president is telling you that the government has failed in protecting lives and property, which is its principal duty to do, to offer in this social contract, that if I give you my vote, the contract I have with you is that you deliver good governance. But the contract now, they don't tear them. They don't even take and clean backside. The contract, they don't tear them. They take and they do suya. If you go buy suya now, I can't make it a free to me for some, make it a free to some, make it a free to me for onions. If it a free to me for big onions, they don't take and they wrap suya. Or is it when I now go and ask my good friend and say, okay, what do you think? Okay, if I go to the National Assembly and say, Alaji Kazaureni to Zoana, Mutani Nigeriani. So how do you feel about Nigeria now?
Our economic is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking, shaking.
So if our economy is blinking, is shaking, is very funny, is doing this, is doing that. But at the end of the day, you know that I'm working very hard. You think I'm kidding? Even when the president looks at me, say, "Kai, this one, they work very hard."
Are we likely to use a different approach in the fight against insecurity, especially kidnapping, which is a big issue now, sir?
No, I have just seen the IG. I think he is still losing weight. So
yeah, like Mazi is losing weight because if they lose weight, if as the other room, if it's a thing it happening for the other room, it's something it could miss it. But never ask me what need happening there because I would lose me weight.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happy I'm voted, yeah.
tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we'll happiness more.
So, inshallah, if he vote me for everything, he don't look at me, I don't collect me the vote. So, the vote where everybody, he don't vote me for this evening. Number one, Akwena Fita Obini. Number two, na Haruf, na Rufai for Arise TB. Number three, na Tenobo. If they look at me, I think these people, for every one of you, it don't reach me for 700 me, it they watch me now. Every one of you, Akwo Kagani, I'll they inside my head. Kagani, Akwo, no be Kwarazin, na oil, no be farm oil, na crude oil, na Veta oil, are they inside my brain. Wallahi, are they telling me? Because I am happiness more. Inshallah, I am happiness more. That is the result. To make it never tell me, make it a publish me for result. The result, na Fita Obi, Akwo number one, ni Daya, na waiting na Rufai for Arise, Uku, na number three, na Timnowu. The president is the one from London. Ni. The president is the work. I tell people, you never get me for walking stick. I can show you. I assure you. I can walk without walking stick.
Army went overboard. And now, the section 207, or is it 217 of the same constitution and the Army Act of Nigeria, Armed Forces Act, says that the Nigerian Army can intervene in situations of threats to the sovereignty of Nigeria, situations of an emergency, and also as an aid to civil authority. Is Nigeria at war? So what they were doing was overboard, was a breach of the Constitution.
Scandalous.
It is only the police that has been given powers to arrest you as an individual when there is no war. And finally, Chiwetalu Agu, if you saw that video, there was a boss there saying Chiwetalu films.
But he was. I thought there are some similarities between Igbos and Yoruba. Sorry. You know what I'm laughing is, in Igbo when he says Chiwetalu. Sorry, my brain is just playing Okoso of me now. about it. It's Chiwetalu films, Chiwetalu Agu films, not the Chiwetalu films, please.
Okay, the man is an actor. He's in a position to sue the Nigerian army for preventing him from conducting his work as a professional. There's something we call in theater. Konstantin Stanislavski, early 20th century, was a proponent in theater of what they call the method or the technique. It's called the given if method. The given if method in theater talks about immersion, about emotional memory. If you want to play a role, you can live it out via emotional memory or putting yourself in the situation of that particular experience. What if Chiwetalu Agu is a method actor? So within that purview, you are stopping him from doing his work, from conducting his professional enterprise. But there's so much ignorance in Nigeria, and some of the most ignorant people are those who wear uniforms and have a bad.
Honestly, some of the most ignorant people in Nigeria are those in uniform. Sorry, please, DSS, you can jump fence all you want. If you can't, you want to come now, come na. Jump fence in the studio. If Wayagos no Babu, come inside. You guys are the most stupidest people.
You are stopping him from doing his work, from conducting his professional enterprise. But there's so much ignorance in Nigeria, and some of the most ignorant people are those who wear uniforms and have been badly educated, and so they don't clear their actions with their superiors, because those superiors also do not know better. So much ignorance walking on stilts around Nigeria.
Well said, everyone. We'll take another story. The special advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari on new media, Tolu Ogunlesi, has come under fire on social media following his interview with the cable news network regarding the ban on Twitter in Nigeria. Author and activist Reno Omokri posted a clip of the interview on his Instagram page, insinuating that President Buhari may consider banning CNN like he did with Twitter after what he did.
You see, when I laugh on Tolu, for many of you who do not know, Tolu was one of the script writers. Google it now. It's called Buni TV. Buni TV. B-U-N-I. Buni TV. They had, during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, one of the best cartoons with African voice, with African, I think it was produced either in Kenya or Uganda. Very, very well written. And so they were making cartoon and guest judge of Okonji Wala and all this. So when he was appointed to his post, I wrote him and I said, well, congratulations on this post, blah, blah, blah. And eventually he posted some things. And I replied, I said, oh, wow, so you're responding. You're now getting angry that someone made a cartoon of the president. Whereas you were the one who was writing script under Goodluck Jonathan, caricaturing a president. Till today, as I speak to you, Tolu, because of that question I asked him, he blocked me. I think it's over 4 years now on Twitter. So you see, what goes around? Madman, jam madman. Now madness squared. That's what it's going to be. Now he's met his match is with Reno Omokri. So let's see what happened.
Described as a disastrous interview by Ogunlesi. Let's take a look.
I just can't believe this. The stuttering, the stammering. Oh my gosh, even, an angel would have trouble defending this man. Just watch this clip and weep for your country.
Somebody who tweets mostly President Buhari's praises, do you?
But hold on, my Yoruba brothers, you must teach your brother how to dress. Yeah. Okay, let me not say what I'm thinking, but again, this is still somehow, but this man is dressed. Jesus Christ.
Support the Twitter ban?
Well, so I'm not, the government of Nigeria has made a decision. Like all governments are expected to.
That's not a yes, sir. That's not a yes.
For me, it's not.
Do you support the Twitter ban?
And for me, no. So it's not. I'm not sure that's the question that you should be asking me. I think it's a win-win actually for Twitter and the government of Nigeria. That's certainly the view I get out of the from the negotiations. That's a win-win for both parties. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
All
Oh,
right,
you're
Tolu,
happiness
I have to leave
more?
it there. I'm not sure it's a win-win when a lot of people just go use virtual private networks and bypass the ban. So I'm not sure how much of a win-win that is, but we're going to have to leave it there.
Rufai, did you think that was a disaster?
Tolu.
Go ahead, tell us what you think.
You see, it's best you just stay on your own and don't collect some job in this country. Because, because Tolu is somebody I know very well.
Okay.
Tolu, you are the one. He couldn't put his thoughts together because there's nothing to say, no points to make. That's what I'm saying, Tolu, you are saying this.
Right.
Wow.
All right, then, to do quickly.
It looks like Tolu had a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
I know you're in a hurry.
Listen. This has nothing to do with bad day. You can't defend bad policy. You can't defend stupidity. I mean, oh, Rufai cracked me. Rufai said, Tolu. Oh, dear. This one made my evening. Tolu. Very vivacious. A man that can write script, Nollywood script, writing Bunny TV, writing everything he wrote. But suddenly, when it came to Twitter, Tolu.
Want to take another story, so I'll leave it there.
All right, then let's take another story. A federal high court in Ekiti State on Thursday dismissed the suit instituted by the state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Olawale Fafomunda, against the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, to challenge the dismissal of an unmarried pregnant police officer. The Attorney General in the suit had said the dismissal of the policewoman, Ms. Olajide Omolola, for being 6 months pregnant while still single and unofficially married was an infringement on her rights and discriminatory.
What?
The AG sought an order of the court to nullify Section 127 of the Police Act and regulations, which provides for the discharge from the police force, female officers who become...
Sorry, I don't know. Someone is complaining that my audio is very low. Is my audio low? Can you confirm if you... I don't know. My mixers, the mixers here, everything is really, really very high. If my audio low, please. Someone is complaining. Fidelix John says, Mazi, your audio is very low. So is my audio very low? Can you hear me? Okay. Nkechi says the audio is very okay. Sorry, maybe you're using a Chinese phone like mine. So sadly, that's the much I can get out of there. Oh dear.
I'm pregnant while unofficially married. The court dismissed the suit on the grounds that the AG lacked the locus standi to challenge the decision of the police to dismiss the officer because Officer Omolola had filed a suit over her dismissal at the industrial court in Akure in February. Tundu, over to you.
Well, it wasn't dismissed on the merits. Was that technicality? And it's very important to see that since the CJN read the Riot Act, that we are seeing that judges are less hesitant to abuse court processes.
Yes.
It does make sense. We await the outcome of her suit at the industrial court. And it's also important to note that the judge did not say that
anyway, that's police matter and a pregnant person. So people, it's been a very fantastic evening listening to this, and that last part really got me. It made my day. Tolu, Tolu, waiting, you can't even defend anything, eh? I said Tolu. Let me see if I can bring that back again, because that part cracked me up. Please
Don't put his thoughts to.
Tell us what you think.
You see, it's best you just stay on your own and don't collect some job in this country. Because Tolu is somebody I know very well.
Okay.
Tolu, you are the one. He couldn't put his thoughts together because there's nothing to say, no points to make. That's what I'm saying, Tolu, you are saying this.
All right.
Wow.
All right, then, to do quickly.
It looks like Tolu had a bad day at the...
So, guys, pardon me. It's Friday Hangout as usual. Okay, people, let's get this out of the way. I was supposed to have a one-on-one conversation with Mr. Peter Obi today, but obviously something came up that that interview was shifted, not cancelled. So if you join me on this platform, my next week Friday hangout is going to be with Peter Obi. I'm going to be hanging out as usual with my drink and with Peter Obi next week by 7 o'clock Nigerian time. Now, in the bid of the Anambra election, I'm conducting, because of the Anambra election happening, I'm conducting one-on-one interviews with all the candidates that agree. Caveat here, those that agree. There are those who probably would act like Buhari. They might think there is no need for them to talk to you because they thought, or they might be thinking, okay, yes, we can go and speak to them in a language they understand, and the people might give in. So apparently, there might be people who might not want to speak to us because this is a very democratic platform where we speak openly. And when you ask your questions come in, we take your questions and we ask these candidates. 3 days ago, we had this, we started this with a Valentine Ozibo, who is the PDP candidate. And you will be joining me tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Saturday, 7 o'clock. I will be speaking to Senator Ifeanyi Ubah of the YPP, yeah? YPP. Tomorrow I'll be speaking with Ifeanyi Ubah of the YPP, Chairman CEO of Capital Oil, and I think he also the owner of Authority newspapers. So if you join me tomorrow, get your questions ready. If you want to send me questions ahead of time, you can do that at Mazezoke on Twitter, or mazezoke at gmail.com, or njenjemedia@gmail.com. I will be expecting your questions. What we are trying to do is to use the platform and get people to come here and let us, it's something we own. It is ours. We'll utilize it, get them in, ask them questions, this, and we expect answers. Will help us make our mind. I do also know, and I'm also aware, that many of our brothers are also saying, no election. Again, I begrudge you not. But if we think deep, many will say that it is better to cover your ass. And even if you want to talk about boycotting the election, it might be on a different level where you have also covered your grassroots. I think wisdom dictates that rather than leave the space for cucumbers and carrots to take over, that one can actually do the right things to, because if someone has nothing to offer, by the time you have a 30 minutes, 1 hour conversation, discerning minds, I believe all of us watching now, over 700 across various social media platforms, would be enough to discern that this individual absolutely have nothing to offer. So in that case, it will help us make an informed decision. Again, it's your choice. If those who say they don't want to participate in the election, of course, it is your choice. You can stay away. But please allow others who decide or who think that it is also their right to take part in that same election. And that is democracy. Because when you demand something, also someone else have their own right to say, no, I do not want this also to happen. Kenny Barr said YPP. So seriously, so guys, at the end of the day, next week, join me Friday next week and tomorrow as well. No, tomorrow. So having looked at what has happened before I round up here, I'll give us opportunity. If those of you who want to, call in, you can call in. This is the number on the screen too. Can give us like 5 to 10 minutes so that if you want to make your own input apart from those typing on the comment section, if you think that it was, if you think you have more information or more info to shed more light on what your view, or if you want to contribute to the arrest of Chiwetalu Agu, do you think it was proper for him to have been arrested? Or do you think the army, like many people, especially those in the Rise studio and myself included, saying, no, we do not think that he has committed any crime known to law to warrant being dragged? And that is the key point here. Dragged. And I keep wondering, why is it that the Nigerian system is the way it operates, or those that enforce law in Nigeria does not have the capacity of civil engagement? Civil. The police lacks that capacity. The army, they don't have it. Theirs is actually worse. Civility, it's nothing. No one can actually engage you in normal, common conversation. It's something. I don't know if it's got to do with the water we drink or anything. I don't know, honestly. But be that as it may, thank you very much, everyone, for being part of this. Join me tomorrow, 7 o'clock, for this fantastic conversation. Again, if you want and if you have any question to send across, like I said before, you could send that using the email njenjemedia@gmail.com. I think I can't remember the name. Someone sent me an email. I read that email and your question was taken within the week when I had that conversation with Val Ozibo. That question was taken, but again, I do not have my emails open, and I do also not have the name of heart. Sorry about that, but that it is. On that note, I will say thank you once more for being part of this, and I do not take your subscription here in vain. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, I beg you, please subscribe. Just click the subscribe button on Facebook, Twitter, and also on YouTube. At the same point, my own personal YouTube channel called Mazi Ezoke. I thanked many of us that helped me reach the milestone of 1,000. Now the work starts. Many of you are watching and still haven't subscribed to my personal channel where I talk about things personal. This is not Njenje Media now. It is Mazi Ezoke personal channel. So you can just Google Mazi Ezoke, you will see it there. So I have my first caller this evening here. Caller, who am I speaking to? You're speaking to Mazi Ezoke live. Hello, who am I speaking to? Oh, wow. Someone called and I don't know what happened, but obviously that is from Italy, I think. That is a +39. So people haven't said that if you want to call back, you can call back. If not, then we'll leave it for another day. Again, do you think his fundamental right of speech, of association was violated? What's your thought? What do you think? You think it was, they did something bad to him? Do you think he should actually sue the army? Someone is saying, Mazi, today you talked about against DSS. You let us contribute money in advance to bail him. Some of you have bad mouth. Don't allow me to call you Tolu. So don't say you want to contribute money for my release in advance. Oh, you guys are wicked. So some of you watching me at this wicked, you want to contribute money in advance. Okay, on that note, I will go to bed before DSS comes up. Thank you all for being part of this broadcast this evening. It is my pleasure to be your host, and I am still Mazi Ezoke. Thank you and good night.